My lawyer wife cheated and tried to use her legal knowledge to screw me in the divorce. I found out she was committing notary fraud on the side. I reported her to the Bar Association. She was disbarred and works at a diner now. My wife Sabine made partner at her firm the same year I opened my second HVEC location. I paid for her law school, every semester, every book, every bar prep course, every 2 shifts, and took overnight service calls so she wouldn't have to bartend. When she graduated, I threw her a party in the driveway with a keg and a printed banner that said, "My wife the liar," because I was that part of her. 12 years into the marriage, she came home one Tuesday and told me she wasn't in love with me anymore. She said we'd grown in different directions. She said she'd already retained a colleague from her firm to represent her in the divorce and I should get my own attorney. She had the paperwork ready in her briefcase. I moved into a spare room. 2 weeks later, I found out from my cousin Mare, who works security at Sabine's building, that she'd been having lunch every Thursday for over a year with a senior partner named Halston. Halston was married with 3 kids. Merritt had walked past their reserved table 42 times. He finally started taking pictures. He'd wanted to tell me but didn't know how. I hired a divorce attorney named Priscilla and handed her the picture. Priscilla said, "This isn't enough. In this state, adultery doesn't affect asset division. She's going to try to bury you procedurally. She knows the family court judges. She knows the clerks. She's going to file motion after motion until you're broke or you agree to whatever she wants." That's exactly what Sabine did. First, she filed for exclusive use to the house. Then she claimed I had undisclosed income from cash jobs. Then she subpoenaed my business records going back 7 years. My attorney was good, but Sabine was on name basis with everyone in the courthouse. Every hearing tilted her way. I was 3 months in, 40,000 deep in legal fees, when I got a call from a woman named Corinne. She said she'd worked as Sabine's paralegal for 6 years and had recently been laid off. She said she'd heard through a mutual friend what Sabine was doing to me. She said, "I want to meet somewhere not near the office." We met at a diner on Route 9. Corinne slid a manila folder across the table. Sabine has a notary side business. She notarizes documents for a real estate flipper named Kenrick. She notarizes signatures for sellers who aren't in the room. Sometimes for sellers who are dead. Kenrick pays her cash. I process the invoices. I have copies of 43 transactions over 4 years where she notarized signatures I know for a fact she didn't witness because I was standing next to her when she stamped them. I stared at the folder. "Why are you telling me this?" Corinne looked out the window. "Because she got me fired for asking questions, and because 2 of those sellers were elderly people whose houses got flipped out from under them, and their families lost everything. When I heard she was trying to take everything from you, I knew what to do." I tried to fold her to Priscilla the next morning. Priscilla didn't take everything for a long time. Then she said, "This isn't a divorce issue. This is a criminal issue and a bar issue. If we report this to the state bar and the AG's office, her law license is gone. Her career is over. Her leverage in the divorce collapses because Halston is not going to keep a disbarred paralegal at his firm, and he sure as hell isn't going to leave his wife for one." "Are you sure?" I thought about the party in the driveway. I thought about the banner. I thought about Corinne's face when she said elderly people. I said yes. I thought of the bar complaint on a Thursday. The state AG's office opened a fraud investigation 2 weeks away. Halston's firm placed Sabine on administrative leave the same day the investigation went public. Halston stopped taking her calls within a week. 6 months later, she was formally disbarred. 9 months later, she took a plea on the notary fraud charges, avoided prison, and paid restitution to 2 of the flipped families. The divorce settled the following spring at 50-50 because Sabine no longer had a firm behind her and no longer had a judge who cared to help. I drove past a diner on Route 9 last fall on my way to a service call. Sabine was standing at the counter in a beige apron, holding a coffee pot, laughing with a trucker about something. She looked up. She saw me through the window. I didn't slow down, and I didn't look back in the mirror.